My name is Gawn Tu Far. That's the name I write under. I'm the author of Love's True Home. My real name is Jean-Pierre Gregoire. And I love sharing my inspirational passages, romantic poetry, irreverent humor. And I spend most of my time sharing my writing on Facebook, where I have 45,000 friends, and on Twitter, where I have another 15,000 friends. And I've been blessed with the gift of being able to summarize in very short form inspirational quotes that have the effect of inspiring people, giving them hope in their lives and encouragement, and making them realize that we are all spiritual beings. And I'm really blessed with this gift. So here I am sharing it with you.
And sometimes, Amy has been able to help me with something along that lines of keeping the message simple and touching to the heart of where we all need to start and where we all need to heal. And I see that message in you and bringing that good feeling to heart and, maybe being a kid a little bit and having a good time and living life.
Exactly. We live in a world today where the best way that I can describe it is to say that the mind is ruling the world today, and we, for whatever reason, we seem to be worshiping the mind, and there's so many systems out there. There's a secret to this, there's a secret to that, there's a 47 steps to this. It just goes on and on and on, and my experience has been that if anything is explained in complex terms, it's probably far from the truth, and basically everything that we require to be happy, to have bounty and joy in our lives, and that includes bounty in every area, in our relationships, financially, emotionally, psychically, spiritually, mentally, physically. All we already own, we already possess all of these qualities in our hearts. And that's why I call my book Love's True Home, because our heart is love's true home. And as long as we rely on outside sources to give us what we require, we're always going to be disappointed. It all comes from within.
Yes, right there in the heart, because that's where it has to begin, right?
That's well, that's my experience anyway.
Well, yeah, because I've seen that, and I think that's why so many people teeter on whether or not they've got success in one area or they're dreadfully empty in another, and it's totally out of balance of keeping those simple messages and keeping ourselves connected to that love within and treating ourselves kind and good in all areas that we can.
Here's how I look at it. If I can summarize how I look at life and why I write and why I sing and write songs and all that stuff, is that we are all children of God. We exist because of God's love. And if that is true, and if a person can start to become aware of that, we are all children of God, which means we should all be respecting and loving each other. And because we exist that way, because we are love, it only makes sense that we should be sharing that love, because love is a gift from God that we share with others. But we tend to forget that, and that's normal. In the human state, we get wrapped up, as I said before, in the outer world, in our physical needs, in our relationships, and our surviving and paying the bills. But when these take precedence in our lives, when these are the most important things in our lives, we've lost touch with our inner self. Once we recognize love in our hearts, then we can see it in other souls, and then we can start acting from that level. And then the things that we require, the problems that we have, we're able to deal with them in a creative fashion. That's what intuition is. Intuition is allowing God's love to direct us instead of the mind telling us what to do. And that's how I try to live my life.
Right. Yes, I agree. I've felt that feeling so many times in my life, and it took me so many years of, self-abuse, to really come to that. It was not till I was 35 years old, hiding in my basement, watching a DVD I had my dad sent that Oprah sent, and I remember jumping up and down crying because I knew there was more to this life than just hoping that I would be, if I did good enough someday, maybe someone would see and help me, and that just changed my life that day. Thank you, Oprah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oprah is an incredible example. A lot of people probably don't realize this, and not everybody likes Oprah. I happen to love her, but Oprah is an example of how a soul with an incredible amount of power, and she has so much power, is able to temper it with love. Just try and put yourself in her position. Everybody wants Oprah's attention. Everybody wants something from Oprah. And Oprah has to sit in the middle of this almost inferno, this hurricane of energy around her, and she's able to temper that power with love. That's why she's such an inspiration to me. And, of course, she's not perfect. Nobody's perfect, not in this. In our physical world, we all have challenges. But she's an example of how we can be a channel for God's love and uplift so many other people.
Thank you so much.
It's truly my joy. I'll just give you a little quote from the beginning of my book, if you don't mind. If people want to learn more about me, just go to my website, lovestruehome.com. And here's the opening paragraph. It goes like this. May each and every one of you behold and celebrate your true spiritual nature as soul and recognize it in others. We are tears of joy born in the eyes of God. Together, we form a magnificent river of divine love, pulsing in and out of the heart of life.